Well, hello. This is our lecture on a vocation, and the point of this is to set you up so that when you're doing your readings and you're trying to figure you're going to be interviewing somebody who's had a vocation, and I want you to try to place that vocation into one of three types. Now, just for a reminder, remember a vocation is that thing that you do to help build the kingdom of God fundamentally. It's not what you do for money. It's not necessarily what you're doing for your career. It's how you are contribute to Jesus Christ working to complete the process of saving the world. Well, at least that's the way kind of for a Jesuit and using Jesuit spirituality. That's what it is. So, as you're thinking about your own vocations, it's more than just your career path. It's how you contribute to the good in the world. Now, I think most people, when they're trying to find a vocation, they do it in one of three ways. For some, it's something that God planted in them, and it's something that they've had. It's an aspiration. It's a dream. It's that little voice inside your head that has made you want to do this thing for as long as you can remember. The second way is that it's your people are looking for a change. There's something in their life isn't working, and they're looking to try to make something better. And the third and final way is that somebody else recognizes something in you. So, back to the first one though, dreaming about it. So for some, that vocation is something that you've always wanted to do. It's that thing that you've been naturally good at, that's been your passion for a long time. And not just your passion like, I like playing basketball right now, but most of you are probably not going to be in the NBA. And so it's not a super helpful dreaming about it. Yes, you may have been dreaming about being a professional athlete since before you can remember, but there's something more to it in a vocation. It's about having your purpose and like feeling like this is the thing that you've been put on this earth to do. And for some, that will come in more of as inspiration, some internal inspiration. You will suddenly have a desire to work with people who can't read well, or to fight injustice in a courtroom, or to protect and serve. It's something more like that. It's not a fantasy like often being a professional athlete or a rock star or a celebrity or an influencer. But it's something that like makes you feel like this is what you've been put on this earth to do. And it has to remember, for all these vocations, you have to be contributing to the common good. So for some of you, it's been a dream. For others, though, it's something else. You find your vocation because you've done the wrong thing. So if we look at for those people, you'll hear stories that when you're talking to people about their vocation, that they were doing X and it just wasn't working for them. James Martin talks about in the previous reading, or in the reading in chapter 3, right? He was working in corporate America and it just wasn't for him, and he had these experiences of reading from Thomas Merton, which leads him to contact the Jesuits. Excuse me. And that's where he kind of finds his vocation in searching for it. Very similar with mine. I was hoping to become a lawyer and then go into politics, but I found that the person I was going to be by following that career kind of sucked. I'm a kind of a jerk anyway. But for me, the field of law and the field of politics just amplified that jerk side of myself, and that's not something I wanted to feed. And so I went looking for something else, and I found this is the priesthood and becoming a Jesuit. So if the vocation is so remember, we've done dreaming about the vocation. It's something that's been innate, some desire you've had in you for forever. Or you could be looking for a change. You were doing X and it was not what you thought it was going to be. Your life wasn't as fulfilling. And that's and so you go looking for a change. The third way I think most people find a vocation is just flat out someone tells them. So usually this is somebody, often a teacher or a colleague, maybe even a parent or someone close to you that sees a gift in you and says, "Hey, you should do this." I have a story of I knew a guy who was in law school, or he was in school, and he wanted to become he liked English and was going to become a Renaissance literature scholar. Loved it. Was working on the PhD. And finally, he goes in and meets with his advisor, and they said, "Look, you're a teacher. You should go and teach." And so that's what he drops out of the PhD program and goes and teaches, realizing that that's right. But it took someone else to say, "You are really good at this. You should think about doing this." And I find that often this is super helpful for us, because other people who love us and care for us can see things about us, and they can see windows into our own talents and abilities that we often don't see ourselves. So I think fundamentally vocations are found in three ways. It's that innate desire that you've had deep inside you for all of your life or for a long time. It's something that comes out because you realize that the life you're living is not as fulfilling or as meaningful as you'd hoped, and so you're out looking for something to change. Or third, someone comes to you and tells you, "I think you should try X," knowing that you have, and so somebody else sees an ability in you that you didn't think you had at first. So as you're going through this cycle, keep thinking about those three ways of finding a vocation: about dreaming about it, about looking for change, or that somebody else tells you to that you should look at this thing to help you find a vocation. I think you're going to see in your interview and in the stories we read that they're going to come into those three categories. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you've written.